So I'm Kate. I don't know if you guys know me or not. This is so uncomfortable for me to do, but I am a coach at Chirag Shah Coaching, obviously. And I'm also an agent in Westchester, New York. I run a team with my mom, Corinne, who I love to death most days. And I'm excited to be doing this with you guys. I've been doing accountability sessions for a while. And now I'm kind of this expert mentor for Compass Tools, which is what I'm going to be focusing on with you guys a lot. We're going to get very in depth with it. It's not going to be just like an overview of Compass Academy kind of stuff that you guys can go find. I like to show you how I've taken the tools and have kind of leveraged them in my own business. So I'll be sharing my screen a lot with you guys. And I think that will be pretty helpful. I like to get like nothing I ever recommend I haven't done myself, just so you guys know. That is my awesome fiance, Matt, on the left. We just got engaged this past summer. That is my mom. That is me with the CEO of this company called Compass, if you guys have ever heard. And I love my dog more than anything. This is Greta. You'll hear her in the background of calls. She's a menace, but I love her. And some of you also might know me because I spoke at the Compass retreat this past year. So getting into CRM, when you go in there, you kind of have like these two things that you're looking at. You have tags and you have groups. Groups are going to be the things that you can't really change. That's not something that's really something you can edit on there, but you have active clients, past clients, agents, leads, sphere of influence, and vendors. Those are the ones that Compass gives us. You can focus on your groups. I don't really focus that much on my groups. I more so sort by tags, and you guys will see what I mean by the end of the session. So groups are like your big group of them, I don't know really another word for it. It's like your big bucket of them. And then I like to get much more specific as I go down. So then you have your tags. A huge misconception about tags is that I think people love to like over tag their clients. When you're thinking of these tags, what I want everybody to, if you're going to write down one thing from this, don't make a tag if you don't have a plan to use it for something else. So for a marketing or to get a list, to get an event list together, to get a list so you know who you're sending your Popeyes to, whatever it is. Don't just tag to tag. I love to share this story. Like I said, I love my mom most days, but I went into her CRM one day and she had tagged a bunch of plumbers as plumbers. And I said, this is so fabulous. Are we having an event for plumbers? What are we doing with this list? Probably nothing. So don't just tag to go in there and feel like it's organized. That's really not the point of a CRM the way that I view it. It's really, what am I organizing these people for? And how is that going to make my life easier down the road with whatever project I'm working on? So this is a list of some of the tags that I have just to give you an idea. So I have kids under 5. I'm in the suburbs. So I have clients who have a lot of young kids when they're moving out here. I have VIP clients, which Chirag will talk a lot about as we go down the line in playbook. Those are my clients who have also been my mom's clients past 15, 20 years who have made us a lot of money, honestly, and have been really, really good to us. Monthly newsletter, that is pretty self-explanatory. That's going to be everybody who I send my monthly newsletter to. You guys are probably going to hear Greta in the background. Compass referral partners, again, self-explanatory. I do a lot of Compass referral business. So I want to make sure that I have those people on there. What I started doing this year, and you guys will learn a lot about this too, about how I nurture all these people. I started sending a monthly newsletter out to them on their own. So they're not getting the same one that I'm sending to most of my other clients. So I like to have those separated for a reason. Volunteer organization, also think of any organizations. You guys have country clubs, PTA, anything, any kind of group that's in your life that you feel like you want to have separated out for a certain reason. That's a great place to go and put it. And then likely to sells and client event list, which when you see mine, it'll be like client appreciation party 2022. Are we good so far? Do we have any questions? I also talk fast, and feel free to put them in the chat and then I can answer. Okay, we're good. Next slide. Okay, so I just touched on this a little bit. So purpose of a tag, to separate out a group of clients to be used for an action. So I'm going to put this into play with something I'm actually doing. My kids under 5, how am I going to go and use these? I'm hosting a Valentine's Day cookie decorating event, and it's going to be very easy for me to go ahead and pull my list. Sorry, I might have to get up and get her. to just go and filter that tag. So that could be my list of attendees. That could be if I wanted to send the invitation out via email. Nice and simple. I have found that with a lot of my coaching clients and a lot of people I talk to, it's not coming up with the idea for the marketing. It's coming up with who am I sending it to or who am I inviting, and how can I have a good idea of who's going to be coming to it. So this has helped me a lot with that. Action step. I wanted to start putting these in this year so that you guys actually have something you can go ahead and work on after these calls. Delete all the tags that have no use to you or your business plan, and then start fresh. So if you look on the right here, these are, I think I have like 2 more when I go in. I'm going to go into my platform and show you, but this is the majority of all the tags I have. Put in the chat, do you guys know roughly how many tags you guys have right now in your CRM? Do you see room for improvement? Too many. Danielle, but you're always good, Danielle. 25, 8, 10 too many. Yes, too many. Okay. And not enough. So 56 is a lot. So not saying that you have to go in and yes, I'll show you guys how to delete a tag too. Not saying you have to go in and delete all your tags. Just really ask yourself that same question. What am I going to use this tag for? If you cannot think of more than like 2 things to go and use it for, or one very, very important thing, probably you want to go ahead and delete it. Okay. Next one, utilizing notes in your CRM. So Chirag and I always talk about this luxury experience, and you guys have been coaching with us. For any of you who have been coaching with us for a while, you kind of understand this. So what I think creates a very luxury experience or luxurious experience for my clients is that I pretty much know every single thing about them. I stalk them and they know that, and that's okay. So anything I find out about my clients, I really try to have in this notes section. It was easy for me when I was starting out, because I think that's actually where like this whole luxurious experience kind of started for me, because I didn't have so many clients. Now that we actually have a pretty good amount, same exact thing with like my Compass referral partners, I want to know as much about them as possible so that I can make sure there's a reason that I'm reaching out, or the gift that I'm giving, there's a reason I'm giving that. So that's why I love this note section. I don't think this is utilized by enough people. You can keep conversations. I talked about how I sometimes will copy and paste text conversations. If I think it's something really important that I want to have in there, can put that in there. Kids' names, pets' names, drinks, foods, desserts, stores, restaurants, anything like that. Like if somebody has mentioned before that they have parents who live somewhere else, I like to take that into account so I can maybe set them up with referral partners down the road. So a lot of these things that when we're in these showings, we think, oh, I'll never forget this. And then you never remember it until it's somewhat reminded to you and you've showed up empty-handed to something. So that's something I like to avoid. And I think the note section is a really, really great way to do this. If you guys have admins or anybody else like that you just want to shoot a text to right after a showing, go and have them added in there. You can go into your Compass app. It really only takes a few minutes. And I also want to stop and say, for any of you guys that don't know me, I will not tell you to do anything just to say, oh, this is like a perfect way to use the Compass tools because this is how everybody wants you using them. These are actually ways that have completely enhanced my experience and my client's experience. So this is really something that I will go in and do myself. And people absolutely take note of it. Birthdays, anniversaries, and special milestones. I do believe there is a part in the contact that you can go in and add these in. It's also very easy just to go and put those into your notes if you'd like. So yes, Yvonne, yes, you can set up the automatic action plan if you want to go in and put those in. I say it's better done than perfect. I don't know whoever said that. I'm not taking quotes for it. I'm not taking credit for it. But birthdays and anniversaries, if you want to be perfect, go and put them in there. Otherwise, throw them into your notes and create something else that you need down the line. Same kind of action step that I was just talking about. After you finish a call or a meeting or anything, make sure that you're taking 30 seconds to reflect on the conversation and see if anything needs to be added into the notes. This is something that I do, I'm not just telling you to do it. Let me check this question. How do you get the more personal information in the conversation, like birthdays and so forth? So birthdays, I have found the easiest to do. I mean, sometimes honestly, you'll just come up. Yes, Yvonne, also stalk on Facebook. She said it, not me. Stalking on Facebook is great. Anything on Instagram, I find a lot of information out about my clients on social media. A couple months ago, I've used this example too. I found out it was one of my clients' daughter's 5th birthday, who loves me, and we always have so much fun on tour together. So I sent her her favorite cupcakes from the city because they had just moved out to the suburbs. She died and absolutely loved it. So this is truly something that people don't always think of, or I think actually we do. I was in Kansas City, and I think this came across really well to people too. We think of the idea, we just don't act on it. So a huge thing that I've been doing this year is like, if you think about it, great, put it in the notes section if it's a couple, months out or a couple weeks out, but just do it. Just go in, schedule the cookies to be delivered, schedule, the whatever it is that you want to go and send to them, or a card or whatever that is. Also, sorry, with birthdays, you can do that in your intake form with your buyer questionnaires or your seller questionnaires. Yeah, oh my God, Lisa, perfect. That's exactly it. So you can also do that. We will be getting into my buyer questionnaires and all of that down the road for sure. Any questions so far on anything? Amazing. You guys are great. Danielle also said that she puts her birthdays and anniversaries into the computer so that she gets the reminder. Also a fabulous idea. Okay, so your CRM is a mess. Where do you start? I've been there. Great question. I love this organized tab, which is in the platform, and I'll head into the platform after I'm done with my deck in case you guys don't know, but just hit yes if you guys have used that before in the chat, so I know you guys might know where it is. Yes, cool. Okay, so click on that. Big action step for you guys. Until this is completed, make sure that you're time blocking. I like 4 times a week for 30 minutes. It could be 5 times a week for 10 minutes. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. But make sure that you're actually doing something to go in and get these organized. The only reason why I'm saying that is that for you to continue into Playbook without an organized CRM, it's going to be very complicated for you. And I think that this is when people get like this coaching backlog because they can't act on it because there's this huge hurdle called the CRM where they've made a great email template or they got a great email template from us and they don't know who they're sending it to because things aren't organized that way. So this is a huge thing to make sure that you're getting in order. I'd probably say in like the next couple of weeks. Not only will the playbook run more smoothly, your business will too. This is an example of a buyer that I just got. So this is what it'll look like when you go in and click organize. This is just one that was randomly populated for me. So I wanted to show you what I would go in and do. Add her to the group, active clients. To be honest, I don't like use the groups that much. You can, I know some people do. I don't personally do that, but you can think about it. Oh, sorry. So I added in 4 different tags for her and I'll tell you why. Kids under 5, she is a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old. I want to make sure that I'm getting her on that. We have a lot of fun events happening for those people this year. Monthly newsletter, I obviously want her to be getting that. Client Appreciation Party 2022. This is that client event tag that I was talking about. It's just tagged this from this year, but these are probably everybody that I want coming to these events, but it's not necessarily including like my newsletter. Some people have asked me this, can I use my newsletter tag to pull the list for my event? Probably not, because I include so many leads and so many people that I've maybe talked to once at an open house before or something like that. Those probably aren't going to be the people that I'm spending $50 to $75 a person on for an event. So that's why I like to have those people separated. Monthly newsletter, I think I have like 250 to 300 on that list. Client Appreciation Party, I think there's like 150 or maybe 125 on that list. So that's the difference there. And then Prepare Your Home for Winter. This is like a seasonal panel that I have going on with a home inspector. So I like to add my newer home buyers to this. And this is something that annually I'll go back in and filter out people who I think have gotten the gist like 2 years in a row. Okay, Torin Hanlon, I'm going to give him a quick shout out. I was going to say this as well. He just said, archiving my entire CRM and starting fresh was the best thing I've ever done. He had 8,000 contacts in there, now has about 400 in there, but they're all group tagged and he knows exactly who they are. This is something that I have heard of a few people doing. Torin is somebody who I've been working on this with as well, and it's been working really well. So at least the 400 that's in there, and Torin would probably say the same exact thing, he's going to keep having more come back out of the archive, but he wants to make sure that the people who are coming in there are people that he knows. So at least the CRM that he's working off of might not be the full scope of his business, but it's the right scope. So it's a clean list. This is like a term you guys will hear me use a lot. It's a very clean list. So thank you, Torin, for chiming in on that. Good. Any questions? Okay. Next. So creating your list of tags, I think is another question I always get. So SAQs, by the way, this is a term that we use here at Chirag Shah Coaching. They're called should ask questions. So sometimes people can't come up with the frequently asked because they don't know to ask them. So these are the questions that you should be asking yourself. So what will I do with this tag? And are the people in this tag too similar to another tag? Can I merge the two? This is something that I find a lot. In even like with like myself, I come up with these different tags and then I'm like, you know, there's probably so much overlap in that. Can I just call it a different name and have a really good idea of who's in there? So things I want you guys to kind of think about, reflect on your sphere of influence. So organizations, hobbies, clubs, anything that is a part of your life, it's part of your sphere, you want to go and put in there. Awesome. Past jobs, I know is a big one for people. And then clients with kids versus without, if you feel like this applies to your market a lot. Likely to sells, I like to put in there. Compass referral partners, CSC community. I have to say that, but actually it is one in my own as well. Monthly newsletter, if you want to do that, which I think most people should be doing, a client event list, and then VIP clients. So this is just to get your wheels turning as to who you guys should start to think, or what tags you guys should start to think is in your CRM. All good. Does anybody want to drop in a tag that they have that they really like? That could help give other people ideas too. Dog owners. There's a toy poodle for sale in my living room right now. If anybody would like her. Sales volume. Okay. So Martha, that's probably similar to like a VIP kind of client, right? You track how much people have made you. Yes, perfect. Neighbors is a great one. Yep. If you're in a community, if you're in a farm where you have a lot of the email addresses, that's a great one to go and have. Good. So sorry, guys. Boaters, golfers, specifically that if you're in a market where you have like a specific kind of lifestyle, maybe you want to go and have those people. So again, just be asking the question to yourself, because sometimes I'll ask this question, people start saying, oh, this is a great tag. This is a great tag. These are all really, really good ones. Just go in and think, what am I going to go and do with it? And I do think that when you guys start to ask yourselves that question, you're going to catch yourself a lot of the time as to, do I really need it? Let me see this. How do you feel about adding people to your monthly newsletter just because you're on a big email chain, little kids classes? Laura, are you asking like if the demographic for like a monthly newsletter is too large, like if there's topics and stuff in there that might not appeal to everybody?
Yeah, I'm popping in.
Yeah.
So I'm new to a town. I'm on some great emails. There's lots of great potential clients, like very nascent sphere of influence.
Okay.
How do you feel about taking those email addresses and adding them to a monthly newsletter? It's basically without their permission.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
You do that.
I'm like, oh yeah, if I've met you, you're gonna hear.
I'm in a new market, so I want to make sure I'm not too aggressive.
I personally think that's fine. Here's what I say about monthly newsletters. I didn't do one for so long, and I finally have kind of found a formula this year that has worked really, really well for me. If there's a value add in there, no one's going to be annoyed with it. So you might want to consider something that I have considered doing as well. And I did in January, it really worked out nicely, is I had one split between the people who had, or the clients or, people in there who had little kids, and then ones who were like more downsizers or just didn't have kids in general. Because I felt like the localized stuff that I was putting on there was kind of either for one or the other. It wasn't exactly always like the same demographic. So you might want to consider doing that, is splitting them based off of like very, very, very generic interest, or something very generic, like do you have little kids or not? And then maybe think about it that way. This way, the people who are getting it aren't going to feel like, it didn't apply to them, and it'll probably prevent more unsubscribes than maybe if you did it the other way.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I just saw something about getting newsletters from other agents. Yes, please, please, please make sure anything you're sending to other agents is, again, a value add for them. This is just marketing across the board. Don't send something to anybody in there, which is honestly, like, I think what a lot of us do. We're like, oh, my CRM's clean, it's fine. It's probably not. You're probably sending this stuff to people who really don't want to be getting it, just like we all get it. And then we do the same thing. So that's why having these clean lists is very helpful so that you can understand who your demographic is. This is like the same exact thing that every single company does. I just don't think anybody ever really teaches realtors how to do this. Like, you have to understand who the demographic is of that specific mailing list, because it could be very contradicting sometimes if you're sending. I mean, I've had people who have sent stuff to sellers saying, oh, do you want to sell? And like, they're on the market right now. Like, why are they on that list? That's not a clean list. So really make sure that these lists and the message that's coming through in any of this marketing is matching up correctly, if that makes sense. All right. So action steps before I go jump into the platform: create your master tag list, update the notes on current clients and VIP clients, and time block 4 times a week for 30 minutes to organize. And then you'll be my favorite students in the world. And I think you guys will also feel much better. Okay, cool. And you guys will get this deck from me, so don't worry too much if you haven't written everything down. Okay, next thing I want to do while we have like 5 minutes left, I just want to jump into the platform quickly. Okay. So, let's see. Thumbs up, you guys can see this, right? Cool. Okay, so you guys will see right here, I have 2,757 results in my contacts. I actually used to say that I wanted this to be really, really low for people. And then I realized, what does it really matter? Because I'm never looking at this as a whole. I don't care who's in this. I have agents who are in this. This thing's hooked up to my Google thing. Every single time I book a hair appointment, they ask me if they're a buyer. I'm like, no, they're just the admin at the front desk. So I don't really care about what that's all doing. That's what the organize is, and I'm going to do my best to get the fluff out of there. What I care about is that my filters are organized so that I can go and use those for what I need. So don't worry too much about this whole master thing right here. This is that organize button that I was talking about right up here. It'll pop you right into this, and you can go through and start to organize them. Something that I think is very helpful if you don't really know where to start is by filtering out here by date created, because ultimately this is going to put everybody who's most recently went into your CRM up at the top. So like most recent clients, I mean, anybody that you've emailed most recently. So I think that's a really nice way of going through it. This way you don't feel like you're just starting from, 3 years ago. It's like, no, start with the people. This is like always the name of the game. Start with the people who are the most fresh, make sure they're on track and they look good, and then work your way back from there. So you'll see this, these are like all the people, Compass agents, new clients, anything like that. And it works your way back. So that's how I would personally start this. And then once I got to like July of last year, I'd say, okay, maybe I'll go back into organize or something like that. In order to go and filter out, you go into, sorry, I know it's like a little elementary, but I want to show it anyway. Filters right here. And then you can click on any of the tags that you have. So if I wanted to get on my newsletter people, put it in here, 259 just came through. I don't even need to think about this list. This list is clean. This is who needs to be in there. Let me pull up the chat. Okay, cool. What is the strategy for adding too many tags for the same client, worrying about too much communication going out? Have a business plan, know what you're going to be sending out. Don't just send out random things all the time. Like there's like a few things that go out for me, like communication wise, a month. Like when I get like a new listing, I don't share that with every single one of like my clients. I don't think that's really like the best use of their time. I have like other ways of nurturing them if, that's not like going to be my main way. So I think ultimately what's the strategy? The strategy is you coming up with a strategy and having a communication plan with these clients on the marketing side of things. This way, you know how many times they're going to be hit with something specifically, and I'll share my business plan down the road. But that would probably be the main thing that I would say. This way, you know how many times those people are going to be contacted, so you're not overdoing it. Okay, good on this. And then I wanted to go in and show you how to, where is it again? Settings. Okay. So when you go into settings right down here and then do tags, manage your contact tags. This is how you can go through and see how many clients are in each, and then also go through and delete them from there. That makes sense. So there's really none. I can delete this likely to sell, and then I can always add it back in. So I would just delete that. And then you go back, filter out, and it won't be there anymore. Obviously, don't do that for any that you think have a lot of great people in there. Okay. Are we good? I lost my chat. Sorry. Oh, here it is. Okay. You guys good on this? We have 2 minutes left. I can't believe I finished with 2 minutes before. Any questions? Anything you guys want me to show? Do we feel like we can do this before next week? Great. You guys are looking at me like I have 10 heads. Fab. Fab, fab, fab. Okay.
Do they have access to a phone dialer?
I do have a question.
Okay, so they don't have.
Okay.
I thought that
their
was the question
personal
for me
phone or their
first. I didn't know if I
personal
could.
number. They can call out.
Okay, I have a question. Used to, when we searched for contacts, that it was not searching the notes field. Have they changed that?
I'm really worried about this.
I don't know. I need to
We
look
gotta
into
take
that.
it care of. We
Unless
gotta-
anybody
get
else
that.
knows the question. I knows the answer to that
Because, you know,
question.
And that's
lazy
why
agents
I
will
have
come up with all
so many
sorts of
tags,
excuses.
because I have to,
So if you can.
if I
them
have to have
ahead of
things to
time,
help me remember people.
you know, they just take
And
that
sometimes
excuse
it's something
away.
like the pregnant lady. And so that does create tons of tags, but if you can't search in
So one of the
notes,
questions I was gonna
it's
ask today
complicated.
is we were talking this.
I get that.
How
I
are
think
your
that there is a
agents?
way though, like the pregnant lady would go into kids under 5 for me. So I think there is a way to start trimming it down that way so that you don't feel so overwhelmed as to having to go through 5,000 to find the pregnant lady, but you can go to kids under 5 and find the pregnant lady out of 150 or 125. If that makes sense. But I
Sure.
don't know if you can go and search by notes. Okay, cool. Well, I feel like we got a lot done today. I hope you guys liked it. I'm not used to only doing Compass tools, but I hope I performed on that. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. Well, I'll see you next week. I'm right at 12:30 on the dot. I'm so proud of myself. Wonderful. Okay, you guys are welcome. You guys will get this in the portal, whatever the CSC platform, and we'll be good. Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you.